This is a Fender American Professional 2 Stratocaster in a fancy mercury finish. This guitar does not officially exist from Fender. What? Let's find out more. Hey, I'm Landon, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe and click a like if you do like the video. So as I mentioned in the intro, this is a Fender American Professional 2 Stratocaster. It doesn't officially exist. You can't buy it from Fender. And to explain that, check out my original video. I'll put up in the cards. Basically, it's the neck from one guitar and the body from another guitar. And I bought those from stratosphere.com. Fender only sells the Mercury body with a rosewood neck, unless you get the left-handed model. It's weird, I don't know why. I saw these parts and I wanted to put it together and do my own thing. This is essentially a Pro 2 Strat. I don't see any difference other than it's two pieces put together. And this is gonna be my deep dive review. So if you're new here, you don't know, but if you've been here before, you'll know that we're gonna do this video in a few sections. It's all time-stamped. We'll start off by doing a quick overview of the guitar, walking down all the parts. Then we'll get into a more detailed deep dive where I open up the guitar, I do a bunch of specs, I test everything. Then we go into playing samples. You hear clean samples, you hear dirty samples through various amps and pedals. And then we'll wrap up the video, my summary and my pros and cons. Okay, so let's start with a quick walk down or walk through. So as I mentioned, this is American Professional. It's hard to remember these names in order. Fender American Professional 2 Stratocaster. I'll start from the top here. So it's a maple neck, fully maple. You got your standard tuners, Fender tuners. This is a made in 2021 edition, so it's got the Fender 75 logo on the back, which is kind of cool. You'll find that on all the 2021 edition models. Glossy fretboard, super satiny neck. I'll get into all the fine specs later. This is just a quick top to bottom. 3 single coils. It's got a 5-way selector. The unique thing with this one is it's got a push-push option, and I'll show that in the demos. You're gonna see exactly what that can do with the electronics. Looking inside it, the electronics are pretty interesting. 2-point trem system. On the back here, you see it's got the little curve. Overall, really nice. I dig this metallic finish. It's not for everybody, but I really think it's cool. It's kind of got like the T-1000 vibe from Terminator 2. So that's the quick walkthrough. Let's get into the deep dive. Okay, let's start with the measurement of the weight of the body or the whole guitar actually. So we'll take a look here. 3.698 kilograms, and you can see the pounds, 8.153. That's pretty nice. That's from all the Strats I've looked at, that's a pretty common weight, 8 pounds. Moving on, let's take the resistance of the pickups, and I'm just gonna watch this along with you. So anyways, we plug this in here and I've got a multimeter or multimeter, however you wanna say it. If I don't catch what, usually I try to talk and say exactly what's happening on screen, but I just wanna watch it with you and enjoy the moment. So if I forget to say something or if all of a sudden I stop talking, it's because I got so enthralled by watching these visuals on screen. So just going through the 5-way selector here. I've got to the bridge pickup. Now I'm gonna do the push-push and you're gonna see the difference. If I could angle it, come on, there we go. So position 1 and 2, they add the neck pickup into the mix, which is pretty cool for a Strat. That's something you don't see very often. And this is something I've just started doing. I bought this digital caliper to measure. Hey, that's exactly what they said when I read the specs earlier. 1.6, what was it, 805, I think, inches on the nut. And just doing a few more measurements here. I checked the top, the nut, and then down by like the 12th fret, and then usually where it meets the body. Some people, they need to know these numbers because playing guitar, you can't play guitar if you don't know about the numbers. It's important. I understand with the nut. It can be, if you got small nuts, then you have trouble playing guitars. Okay, taking the strings off, we're gonna go inside the guitar, just loosen the strings, and that way you can lift the strings up, you can pull the pickguard out. So here I'm just taking out the screws, but first we're gonna go inside the cavity of the output jack, 2 screws. Slip it up, take a look inside. Always curious how these guitars are gonna look inside. Close up of the jack, and nice clean little jack hole. That doesn't sound right, but it's what I'm gonna call it. There we go. Zooming out. Zoomed right out. Put it back on, 2 screws. That's it. Give it a little makeup cleanup brush. Okay, careful here. This one I had to be really careful. So you've got the 22 frets and it's kind of hanging the lip over, keeping the pickguard from coming out. Also, there's a body ground holding it in place. Wouldn't be a problem if the body ground cable was a little bit longer, but I realized that, so I had to unscrew it there. And flip it over, we can take a look. We're gonna do some major close-ups of all the parts, and I'm just gonna let you take a look. If I have any comments on this, I'll let you know. But I can't see that. Can you just, there we go. It's got the sticker. See the P2? It's engraved in the body, so you know it's a Pentium 2 powered with MMX. My first computer was a Pentium 2 350, 64 megs of RAM. Here we go. Just taking a look at the pick guard. You got all the pickups, and there's the wiring. Got all the parts there. You got the 2 pots, 3 pots. One of them has got a special push. Here's a close-up of all the pickups, and a close-up of a sticker that says exactly the model number of the assembly for the Strat. Kind of messy inside, right? It's never really super pretty, but that's the bridge pickup. Here's the switch. The switch on this guitar is super solid. Feels awesome when you feel it in your hand. When you've played enough switches and tried enough guitars, and played with enough switches, you know which ones feel like garbage and which ones feel great. Here's a close-up of the pots. They're all 250K. They appear to be CTS. I believe I see an S. This is the treble bleed, as far as I know. Somebody mentioned that when I was talking about my Tele 2, which also has a treble bleed. So it's got the treble bleed, and then it's got, there's no blood though, but I guess maybe it's red because, what is he talking about? Tap test. Before you put your screws back in and close it all up and realize you've ripped everything apart, take an amp, a little amp, doesn't matter what it is, plug it in, do a little tap test with metal, tap the pickups, then you'll know you're good. You're good to go. So let's just finish up here. Close it up. Okay, let's go. Let's read all the specs. We're gonna get it out in one take. We're gonna go through the whole thing. So let's start with the body. The body is a body material of alder. The body finish is gloss urethane. Body shape is, surprisingly, Stratocaster. The neck is maple. Neck finish, this is interesting, supernatural satin urethane finish on back of neck with gloss urethane headstock face. So it's supernatural, like a ghost. The neck shape is a deep C. Scale length is 25.5 inch. Fingerboard is maple. Fingerboard radius is 9.5 inch. Number of frets, 22. Fret size is narrow tall. The nut material is bone. Nut width is 1.685 inches. Position inlays, black dot. So for the electronics, we've got a bridge pickup of a VMod 2 single coil Strat. It's the same in the middle and in the neck. Same VMod 2 single coil Strat. You've got a 5-position blade, and I showed that with all the tone samples. One cool thing, it has the auxiliary switching, which is a push-push tone control, and it adds the neck pickup to position 1 and 2. As far as the hardware goes, the bridge is a 2-point synchronized tremolo with bent steel saddles, pop-in tremolo arm, and cold rolled steel block. Everything's nickel chrome for the finish. The tuning machines are Fender standard cast, sealed, staggered. Control knobs are aged white plastic. Switch tip is aged white, and it's a 4-bolt neck plate. And the strings are 9-42. If you did buy it as a new product, it would also come with a case, which is the deluxe molded case, which you might have seen in other videos. Really, really nice case. In my case, I didn't get the case, so just in case you're wondering about the case. Case closed. you go, there's the deep dive, and you got to hear it, and you got to see all the specs, and you got to see it as close up as possible without actually having it in your hands and being in person with it. So let's wrap up the video. This is my summary. This is my pros and cons. It's very similar to a pros and cons that I had for the Pro 2 Telecaster. My pros and cons are very similar to the Pro 2 Telecaster, and I've done a previous video on that. I'll try to put it in the cards or in the description. Take a look on my channel anyways. It's on there somewhere. So let's talk about it. What is this? What is this? I think this is the finest guitar you can get from Fender. Let's just go over the pros. The pros to me, the fit and finish are amazing. The satiny feel on the neck, this is the best neck that Fender makes as far as I'm concerned. At least that I've tried. I haven't tried everything, but that I've tried so far. Rolled edges, super satiny feel, the little curved heel. It doesn't do too much, but it's a nice little addition. I do like the aesthetics of the white on black and the mercury metal. 5-way switch with the extra option with the push is pretty cool. Trem system is good. Everything's good. It feels solid. It's not super heavy. It's around, you saw the weight, it's close to 8 pounds. Which is pretty standard for a Strat. Really, really good. My only con, and this was a similar con on the Pro 2 Tele, is these push buttons. They stick out a lot. This one, not so much. Not as much as the Telecaster, but you can see it's kind of, you can see it's raised up a little bit. And then when you have it enabled, it's sticking up a lot more. So that's really a cosmetic thing, and it's really the only con I could think of for this guitar. Otherwise, I love it. I love this guitar. Now, a question for you. How would you classify this guitar? Because I bought the neck that was taken off of one Pro 2 Strat, and I bought the loaded body that was taken off of another Pro 2 Strat, put them together, it is essentially a parts caster, but it's an official Fender parts caster, if that makes sense. Anyways, I want to turn that over to you. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Is this an official Fender Strat, or is this just a parts caster? Does it lose value to you? It's essentially a mix and match. I think it's pretty cool. Before we go, if you are in the market for any guitar gear, any guitar parts or anything, take a look at the description below. I have affiliate links to Thomann, Sweetwater, Amazon. You can find anything you're looking for on any of those sites. I'm affiliated with them, so I do get a little perk, and it helps the channel. If you're also looking at learning guitar, I highly recommend guitartricks.com. I am affiliated with them as well. I use them for learning songs and learning new guitar skills, and I need to learn more. And I find it's helping. You can always sign up for the free trial, no obligation. Salesy part over. Let me know what you think of these Pro 2 guitars from Fender. I have one Strat, I have one Tele. They're amazing. I think this is the finest guitar that Fender has put out, possibly ever. It's a modern take, right? It's not like a vintagey style thing, so I like the modern stuff. I like the vintage stuff, but this is really cool. So, all right, as always, play guitar and have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.